What's up, everybody? The Exploding Event TEI here, and today we're going to be talking about something that almost none of you have any interest in, just like always. Today we're going to be talking about the new Breath of the Wild 2 Tears of the Kingdom gameplay reveal trailer. I've watched through it a couple times now, and it's a very divisive trailer. It has a lot of opinions all throughout the Zelda community, so today I'm going to give you my comprehensive analysis of every detail in the trailer that I thought was important, and then we'll break down every single detail, every single new ability, and get into it. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, there's going to be a link in the description. Everyone like for that comment, everyone comment for that like, and of course subscribe. Of course, if you don't care about the trailer or Breath of the Wild 2 or Tears of the Kingdom, you don't have to watch the trailer. Just listen to what I'm saying and say, yup, that's my opinion as well. We like echo chambers around here. Let's begin with the first order of business. We're going to go through all the abilities basically in a list, and I'll talk about all the ones I like and I don't like, and my thoughts on all of them. Beginning first with the time reverse ability. I'm not going to use their real names. I think it's a very first game-esque ability. It's very similar to the ideas of like stasis or of magnesis, specifically letting you both move objects and stop them from doing what they were doing previously, whether it be like stopping something from rolling down the hill with stasis. The difference is that now you can also make it go back up the hill it was rolling down. This feels like a prime like puzzle solving rune. You're going to use this in shrines or whatever the equivalent of shrines is. You're going to use it on like a rolling thing. It'll go back into like the hole it needs to be in to activate the puzzle or whatever. This is going to be like the prime bread and butter. Also, due to the fact that there aren't a lot of runes, due to the fact that most of the runes aren't puzzle solving rooms like this one is, I feel like Zelda is going to be a playable character. If you're my friend, you already know my theory, but my theory is that if in the underground section, we'll be playing as Zelda, specifically with the Sheikah Slate abilities. But further ado, I think, not getting into that too far, I think Time Reverse is a very good rune. I'll put it in the solid A tier. The next rune is the Ascend rune, which I personally feel I've got a few issues with. First of all, it feels very limited, right? It's literally just if there's space above you, you can go up to that space, which sure, it could be fun, right? If you do get to go literally from like the ground all the way to a sky island, just teleporting up, that'll be really cool. But the animation is quite long. I'll play the clip for you right now. You can see that Link swimming up through that like mountain ridge took like a good 4 or 5 seconds. I don't have that time. I need to be at the top as soon as I push the button. I don't have that patience. Besides that though, it does seem pretty interesting. It could be used in a few puzzles, right? Specifically, let's say there's like a platform. You have to use the time reverse to get it to like move backwards, and then you have to ascend at the correct time and like time it correctly. That'd be a lot of fun as a puzzle. Just generally, I think it'll be really good for navigation. I don't know how many caves actually will have, I don't know how many mountains actually have caves in them that will let you ascend up through them. But if that is like a common thing throughout the game, if there are a lot of caves that you can ascend up through, then I think it'll be a very useful movement ability. Overall, also one little thing, the trailer did say these words.
Here's another example. Imagine you're stuck in a cage. If it's got a ceiling, you know what to do, right?
Which I think implies that there will be a section of the game where we are stuck in a cage and we do get to use the ascend rune to go up. As a little side note, just as a ranking, I think the Ascend rune is going to be in the C tier or the B tier. It's not as exciting. It's not as good as for puzzles, but it could have some really good applications if it's like super like unlimited. Like if you can, I don't know if stasis is going to be in the game, but if you can like somehow launch an object into midair, freeze it with stasis, and then like ascend up to it, that'll be really cool to just randomly get height everywhere. It can definitely break the game. But anyway, let's keep going. Rune number 3 is, we're not going in order, by the way, as you can already tell, is the Master Hand rune. It basically lets you stick things together. It's like the building rune from Fortnite even. I think it's a Fortnite reference. You get to build things together, throw logs together, throw some propellers on there, throw some wheels on there, and make vehicles. The way the trailer showcased it is very weak, and if that's actually the extent of the abilities, I'm not excited. But I'm expecting that there will be like greater horizons for it. Basically what I didn't like in the trailer is that you're building a boat. It takes maybe 2 or 3 minutes to build a boat to then be on it for about 25 seconds. And I think in the base game, you can realize the exact same issue arises, right? They have the little sailboats that you can propel with the Korok leaf, but no one does that because swimming or just making like, Cryonis pillars is just as fast. So there's no reason to go find boats. I think here, if you do need to travel long distances, you probably will make a car. But that's not really why I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it because of the combat applications. It would be a lot of fun if you can actually just like throw some wheels on like a big like make like a big ram shield and like propel it towards an enemy camp that you can like jump on top of, like dodge the arrows, trick the enemies. That'll be a lot of fun. And if you can put like cannons or something on your cars, that'll be a lot of fun. Heavily doubt you can do that last one, but either way, should be fun for combat, fun thing to experiment with to see how far we can break the game, right? I think that rune though by itself, it's gonna be in the I think it's gonna be like in the C tier, because I'm not excited for its puzzle solving applications, right? If we are just getting put into a shrine, here's some materials, make a way out, I'm not gonna have a lot of fun with that. That's not like as exciting. I don't want like a sandbox where it's like here is like some stuff, build it together into like a bridge or a ladder or something, like a flying machine, and get out. That's not as exciting. I'd rather we do like specific puzzles with like the actual runes. Anyway, on to number 4, which is crafting, the crafting rune. This one is super divisive. There's a good aspect to it and a bad aspect to it. We'll start with the bad, because that's what they showed first in the trailer. It's the really, really goofy looking additions onto weapons. It looks stupid. Having just like a rock hanging off of your stick doesn't look very nice. The like super long stick attached to this pitchfork makes it look really goofy on Link's back. You can see that in these 2 clips I showed right now while I'm talking. I don't like how either of them look. I want in my like Zelda game, when I'm playing as Zelda, you know, the main character Zelda, when I'm playing as him, I want to be actually able to like fight with a cool looking weapon, right? The Great Flame Blade in the first video game is a great example of this. It looks cool when you swing it. The Master Sword glows and looks awesome. Attach either of these weapons to a tree branch and it looks stupid. Attach either of these weapons to a randomly long stick and it looks stupid. They have shown in the trailers good examples of how the weapons can look cool, but I feel like what they've shown in the actual gameplay reveal does not match my expectations at all. It needs to look better. But the good aspect of crafting is the arrow crafting system, which, as they've shown, looks pretty cool. However, there is a side note, right? If there are actually like 30, 40 different arrow types, this will be so fun, right? Getting to experiment with all of them, shooting like a Korok arrow to blow someone away and then hitting them in midair with an ice arrow to force them like fall down to a cliff would be so cool, like canceling their momentum in midair. That'd be a lot of fun. If it is that they just have 20 arrows that are all slightly more or less damage, that's not going to be very fun for me, right? Like if the amethyst, I assume like the amethyst will probably just do slightly more damage, but if the amethyst does more damage and the ruby does more damage and the sapphire does more damage and the diamond does more damage and all the horns just make it do more damage, then it's going to be like not very fun. It's just going to be a bunch of damage up arrows, all of which are of like different qualities. That's not as exciting. If they do have like 20, 30 different unique arrow types, this will be a huge addition to the game. And it would probably put the rune, like the, I guess, like attachment thing directly into S tier. However, as it's shown now, I'm going to put it again in the C tier, kind of like Master Hand, right? Where it can do very cool things. If they do make it so that you have a lot of different arrow variety, that you can like transmog weapons to get like an electric flame blade that does both effects, that'll be super cool. If you can't do that, I'm not going to have a lot of fun with it if I just get goofy weapons on like 5 arrow types of different damages. And just a couple side notes then from the rest of the gameplay reveal. Beetle is confirmed. Everybody put your hands together. Beetle is back, baby. This is super exciting. I think we can start partying now. All right, that's enough partying. Real talk though. Back to the important things. The world. We saw a huge panoramic shot of the world, and there's a couple things I want to notice, talk about, mostly clear up, right? Does the world look very new? Kind of. There's some new stuff, obviously. You can see it. Let me circle it for you. New thing, new thing, new thing, new thing, new thing. Okay, that's going to be unfun to edit. But anyway, there is some new stuff, but it doesn't look super exciting. I'm not seeing like a huge like garrison that I want to fight through, or like a castle to siege. Well, besides the actual Ganon castle. However, if you look at the original game, I feel like it's very similar. Breath of the Wild's world isn't special in that it looks cool from afar, in that like the panoramic shot shows you a bunch of things you want to do and like fight. It's specifically that when you do like take the due diligence and explore every single area, you find something for your troubles, right? So just because the open world does or doesn't have visually appealing landmarks doesn't necessarily mean the open world is going to be fun to explore, right? It's what they've done with every minute space. So that's generally my thoughts overall. Beetle is back. Koroks are returning. If you find all 9 million that I hid in this video, I'll give you, I don't know, I'll pin your comment. Peace out, everyone. Thank you all very much for watching. Like always, you can like, comment, subscribe. If you want me to make an episode of about Gilmore Girls, you need to tell me which episode to watch. Peace.